Here is a guide on how to use GruCloud to manage a Microsoft Azure infrastructure. Given an existing infrastructure on Azure, GruCloud can generate the code automatically. The Gcj Code Command will fetch the resource inventory and find out what is already deployed. From this live inventory, GruCloud generates the infrastructure code in the JavaScript language. This code is going to be used later on to deploy, update, delete, and visualize this infrastructure. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Various types of diagrams of the architecture can be generated automatically. Here are the resources represented as a mind map. When resources are no longer required, the destroy commands will delete the resources in the right order at the right time. After a brief overview of the GruCloud functionality, the following part is a step-by-step on how to install, configure, and run the various commands. With regards to the Azure requirements, verify that its CLI is installed correctly. Check the version and, in case of error, go and install it for your platform. The GruCloud CLI is running on Node.js. Let's install it with the help of Volta.sh. It is by far the easiest and fastest way to install Node.js without any administrator permission. The first command will install Volta. The second command download Node in npm, the Node Package Manager. Finally, verify Node is installed correctly by checking its version. Now that Node and npm are installed, installing the GruCloud CLI is just a command away. GC, the name of the GruCloud command line interface, will be installed globally thanks to npm. Ensure GC is installed correctly by using the showing its version. Let's move on to creating a new project. In this section, a boilerplate project will be created, as well as authenticating with Azure and setting the region. Type the GC new command, select Azure as the cloud provider, and enter your project name. If the as-login command has not been previously invoked, this command will be called, allowing you to authenticate with Azure. Now select the subscription ID for this project. A service principal will be created. Eventually change its name or select the default. Next step is to add an Azure Active Directory permission to read the graph endpoint. In addition, a bunch of role assignments will be created too. Select a region where the resources will be deployed. The final part is to register the most used namespace. A boilerplate project should be created. The dependencies are being installed in this process. Let's explore the basic commands at your disposal to manage your infrastructure. List your live infrastructure with the list command. The graph option will also create a diagram of your resources and their relationships. Under the hood, the Graphies program transforms a text representation into a diagram with an automatic layout. Next, let's have a look at the Gcj Code Command. Traditional infrastructure as code tools are unidirectional. In a nutshell, from the code, the tool deploys a live infrastructure, but there is no way to generate the code from the infrastructure. Instead, GruCloud is bidirectional. Code can be generated from the infrastructure, and this code is later used to deploy, update, and destroy infrastructure. This eliminates the burden of manually writing the infrastructure code, hence saving you time, money, and hassle. From this code, two kinds of graphs can be generated: a simple mind map or tree view, and a diagram depicting the relationship between the resources. The tree command requires a Java program called plan2ml, which transforms text into a mind map. The second type of diagram shows the target resources and their relationship. The command for this diagram is gcgraph. Ensure Graphies is installed to create these diagrams. Let's move on and update the infrastructure. The first option is to use the Cloud Provider Web Portal or CLI, then use the command Gcj Code to generate the new code. The second option is to directly edit the resource file and run the command gcapply. Suppose we have added, through the web portal, a new security group rule to allow HTTPS traffic. When the command Gcj Code is executing, you will be prompted a difference between the current code and the new code corresponding to the live infrastructure. Second option, Edit Resources.js. Change, for example, the instance type. When done, head over to the console and type the command gc apply. It compares the live infrastructure to the desired one and presents you with a difference. If you agree with the change, press Y to accept. At this point, GC will call the Azure API and update the infrastructure. Everything has an end. When an infrastructure is no longer needed, invoke the command gc destroy. Resources will be deleted in the right order in just one command. Moreover, you may be interested to have a look at the examples directory to find off-the-shelf infrastructure. In this case, clone the Git repository, change to the example directory, run npm install, and then gc in it. To summarize this video, we have seen how to use GruCloud to display infrastructure diagrams, generate the code, as well as list, update, and destroy infrastructure on Azure. As a side note, GruCloud also supports the other major cloud providers such as the Amazon Web Service and Google Cloud.